is about our quarterback, Mac Jones. Playing the game, he is being evaluated by the NFL for a possible fine, not a suspension, according to Rappaport, for a low hit on Eli Apple. He was running him down. Eli Apple looked like he was trying to get a block on Tyquan Thornton, and Mac Jones basically went at his legs. I didn't upload the video here, so we can't show it to you, but I'm sure you all saw it. I'm sure you've all heard about it. A lot of chatter now about Mac Jones being a dirty player. There's been several examples last 2 years. The play on Brian Burns, Max sliding and kicking Jaquan Brisker where the sun don't shine. Like, there's a lot of guys do this slide thing. Mark Daniels from Mass Live tweeted a video of it, and like Joe Burrow, and a lot of guys kind of just have their cleats up in the air. So I don't know about that one, but man, another dirty-ish play from Mac Jones. What'd you think of it? Does he deserve to be fined?
Yeah, real quick on the slide, that's actually a coaching point. Brady used to do that. You want to dissuade the defender from coming down on top of you late. It's not exactly a clean play. It's basically a dirty play to offset a dirty play. It's just an ugly part of football. Yeah. The Brian Burns play was dirty. And yes, this one he should not have done that. And his explanation today was basically, well, I didn't want him catching up to Tyquan Thornton, so Thornton couldn't make the tackle. Then push him. Just push him.
Right.
You don't need to go for it. It's not necessarily that he hit him. I don't necessarily think that just making contact with him it's the way he went about it. It's going for his knee. And the reality is, if he didn't have a history, maybe you look at it and you say, all right, well, he's trying to make a play and he's got to take down a guy bigger than him. But I think you're at the point now where he's one of those guys. He's kind of gained that reputation. For lack of a better example, like Marcus Smart or Brad Marchand, where even when they do something borderline, because of their reputation, because of their history, it gets put under the microscope more than maybe the average player. Mac's probably now in that category, in that group. So he's got to be careful. And look, I said last week with the blow up down on the goal line and he snaps the ball too early, I think that his emotions, and I've said this before, I love that he plays with emotion, but you can't let that negatively impact your play. I think you saw it last week, right? In that instance of the goal line, and you saw it there. That whole play really was just emotional mistakes by Mac Jones. He needs to take the sack there. Look, he didn't get great protection. I don't think that sack would have been his fault, but he needs to know to take the sack there and not do too much. Almost derailed the drive. Probably should have derailed the drive. I was surprised that play stood as an incompletion. Right. And then obviously the hit's completely unnecessary and uncalled for. So a play where he's just got to take a deep breath, realize it's not there. And I get that's frustrating because there's been a lot of that this year where he just kind of has to chalk the play up to a loss to no fault of his own. And he obviously doesn't want to do that. And you understand why maybe he's pushing a little more than he should, but this is just what this team is this year. You're going to have to take L's, and he's competitive. He doesn't want to do that. But that's a case where you got to do it. And when it doesn't go your way, go back to the sideline. Like, chew out Matt Patricia all you want as you're walking over there, but do not take it out on the other team. Don't do it. That's just not a good look.
I'm with you because you talk about the microscope when you're a guy like, Marchand and Marcus Smart, but that microscope's even bigger when you're a quarterback too, because you're supposed to be the leader. You're supposed to be, even head, even keeled guy. And yeah, Mac's definitely shown that frustration a lot more outward over the last few weeks, for better or for worse, I guess. Again, I'm with you on, having that fire around, when your coaches aren't calling plays right. And you kind of, you want to win, right? You want to win in this league. It's hard to win. Max says it every week, but when it bubbles over to, going low on other guys on other teams and, Brian Burns last year and looking like he's kind of pulling his ankle over a little bit, I'm with you. There's no place in the game for it. It's something he has to clean up and not let his emotions get the best of him in those situations, because it's going to hit his pocket here again. It's already happened this year on another thing. When he threw the ball at, who was it? The guy on, was it Ebenezer?
Oh, that was stupid. He was fine. Guy on the Bills. That was, of all the things he's done this year, for that to be the one he was fined for, please. He was tossing the ball to the referee and the player happened to be standing next to him. That was a stupid
I'm
fine.
with you. I'm with you on that one.
He's had more finable plays this year that weren't. So we can, but that, I'm not going to nitpick him on that play, man. That was just stupid.
I'm with you, but the point being, it's hitting his pocket again, so he's going to have to be more careful.
Who knows
in
with the NFL? Like, he'll get fined for that nonsense, but watch, he won't get fined for this, right?
Yeah, I know. That's the other thing. So,
what
do you think about a suspension? Okay, go.
Okay, no. So it was literally what you were about to say about a suspension.
Okay. Yeah,
he's not getting suspended because it would have happened already. They can't.
Right.
Like, fines come out on Saturday. The league can't suspend a player on Saturday. That would just have There would be major issues in terms of collusion and with the gambling markets. That comes, today would have been the latest that, and I think they did announce it. Randy Gregory get suspended, or was he just fined?
I'm not sure.
He got suspended, and O'Day, the other guy, they got in the fight, right? And that game happened a day after the Patriots game. If Mac Jones was going to get suspended, he would have been it would have been with that announcement. He would have been suspended already. It's not happening. So all you zappy weirdos can calm down. He's not starting this week.
That was in Rappaport's report as well, I believe, was that they're looking at a fine, they're not suspending.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that something like that warrants a suspension? It's tough to suspend quarterbacks. He is now technically a repeat offender. Should he do you think it warrants one?
No. Suspension is like, again, the Randy Gregory incident. They got in a fist fight after the game, and that's a 1-game suspension. Suspensions to me, suspensions to me are either things in between plays, not during a play, or like overly egregious, like throwing a helmet at somebody, coming off the bench to instigate something. Things like it was a cheap shot, but I don't feel out of place calling it a football act, right? To me, a suspension is something that's like, if Max straight up tackles him, that's maybe worth the suspension. But it would be a little soft to suspend him for that, and people will call me a homer for that. But I'd say if it was the other way around, look, the hit on Jacoby Myers in the Bills game was more egregious than that, and that wasn't worth a suspension. Yeah. So,
I'm with you. It's like that play when Gronk, put Tre'Davious White into the ground a few years ago. That was a suspendable play. That was after the play. That was
worth a suspension. Yeah.
And he basically came out after that and said, like, look, that was wrong. But so Mac Jones probably.
Meanwhile, you didn't hear them in Buffalo they called Gronk a dirty player, but in Buffalo they call anybody a dirty player who even lays a finger on one of their players. You didn't really hear nationally them calling Gronk a dirty player after that. So